From the blue side of Manchester comes a rising generation, sharp, stylish, and steeped in soccer tradition. On the other side, Girls Academy Red, a collection of the nation's brightest young talents, brought together not by geography, but by ambition and skill. Man City and Girls Academy Red square off today at the Generation Adidas Cup. Great to be alongside Katie Goodman. I'm AJ Ricketts. Katie, international teams have now become a regular here at the GA Cup through the years. It has continued to grow, and now that innovation extends to the girls' side. It's the first year they've been a part of the action at the GA Cup. How meaningful is this for the growth of the sport?
It's huge because, I mean, when you look at the world stage, U.S. women's soccer has dominated for a long time. England's catching up, and a big part of that is the academy system. So I love seeing these women's teams coming out here on a world stage because we're getting a lot of eyes globally. So it's a huge deal for women.
Girls Academy Red, Girls Academy Blue, FC Bayern, and of course this Man City roster, which looks to show their stuff from England here today. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for Man City, Katie.
Yeah, so looking at Man City here, we've got Layla Fitzpatrick in goal. Really quality keeper there. Excited to see what she is able to do. They're against the elements here, not typical of England weather being here in South Florida, so they've got a lot to work through.
Well, Girls Academy Red, this is an assembly of some of the best talent from all across the country. They have plenty of capable goal scorers, though up front led by Megacy, Bodiziak, and Bristol Kirsch.
Yes, Bristol Kirsch had a chance to talk to Coach. He had mentioned that keep your eye on her. She's a goal scorer. She's aggressive, relentless. You're probably going to see a lot of her here today.
Girls Academy Red, Man City and the U16s. The first action. Women here at the Generation Adidas Cup. Glad to have you with us here in Bradenton at the IMG Academy. AJ Ricketts, Katie Goodman. Katie, we were talking with some of the coaching staff from Man City just a few minutes ago. We didn't realize they just got into town last night. The transatlantic flight. They got to the hotel, quickly to bed, and now playing. The jet lag is real.
Absolutely brutal. I mean, I recently was able to take a trip to Australia, and I know that's a little bit further, but it took me a week to just catch up, and I can't imagine. I know they're young, but it's still hard, you know, flying in just the night before, time difference, the weather, they're young, but on the flip side, this is a great experience because at some point they're going to have to endure something like this, especially if their careers progress into the professional level.
Yeah, the last time I flew across the ocean at 2 p.m. the next day, I couldn't keep my eyes open. These girls are on the pitch looking to make an impact.
Something I'm seeing early on for these young ladies is really good pace. And I mean, look at how, especially Girls Academy Red, how they expand, get cleats to chalk on the defensive. Sometimes you're not even seeing that at older age groups, so.
Well, that's going to be a storyline here today and throughout the tournament for both Girls Academy Red and Blue. We mentioned it's an assembly of talent from all across the country. They're the only club organization here that doesn't really have a ton of cohesion, chemistry, time to gel. They've literally, in some instances, only had a couple of days, as Bristol Kirsch did a good job to take this one away. Hesitates, gets to her right foot, loading, deflects it to the net. Quickly on the board, Girls Academy Red. Bristol Kirsch, brilliantly done. It's 1-0.
Coach Jeff Hughes called it from the get-go. Look at the way she sets herself up. She cuts off the pass. Again, just defending really well on the offensive. Nice touch into space. And it's a good finish there. Keep is in place. It's just not able to collect it. But it's that composure here in the attacking third for this young player. Really impressive.
Well, it doesn't take loads of cohesion and chemistry to take the ball away and make a one-on-one move like that.
That's true.
Excellently done. Bristol Kirsch puts Girls Academy Red in a nice spot here early in the proceedings.
And I'm sure, you know, as time moves on, they're going to become more cohesive. Again, challenges on both sides. Ball a little bit behind.
Kirsch looking to create again. Working along the far side. That'll trickle out of play. So all throughout this GA Cup, we typically see 30-minute halves for 60-minute matches. This will be 40 in each half, a result of just the fewer total amount of games that these teams will play. Most everybody else will have 7 matches, hence the 30-minute halves. With just about 4 or so here for the women, we'll get a little extra time each half correspondingly.
I think that's great, especially considering the time difference for these young ladies, and then a team who's just come together out of the blue. That 10 minutes, you know, maybe in the final 2 games are going to make all the difference.
Positive start here for GA Red. Certainly out on the front foot in the opening 4 minutes. First touch for Unahan, defender for Utah Celtic.
Girls Academy Red really commanding the situation here. Great movement across the back line, and I love that she didn't feel the need to just continue swinging it around, taking a more direct approach there.
Layla Fitzpatrick has it handled there. Spent 4 seasons with Leeds United prior to joining this Man City Academy. A disjointed start, perhaps certainly understandable with the travel schedule. Playing in a different climate here as well, not used to this kind of Florida heat. Let's see if Man City can grow into the match, get some possession here in the next few minutes. Again, a very positive start for this group of talent from all across the country. It looked like they've played together for a number of weeks now. Good job to get on top of the ball there, just outside the circle in the midfield. This shot from well outside the 18, ultimately harmless. Jane Oduo.
Doing well to close it down there. I mean, one thing's for sure, staying nice and tight through the middle is Manchester City. It's just not trying to force those opportunities just because they're there. But again, those are things that come with time. And we also have to remember that mentally, they may not be in it here.
Good deal of contact near the touchline, eliciting that whistle. Down for Man City at the moment is Millie Burden.
See that? Maybe just a clip of the ankles. It's a good physical matchup so far. Yeah, you can see her ankle turn there. Maybe less of the actual clip and more of the roll that got her on that one. You know, the thing I love about women's soccer is, you know, they'll run through a brick wall, borderline break their femur before they start rolling on the ground asking for a foul. Probably an area for
dynamic, yeah,
probably an area for improvement, honestly. You know, sell it a little more and might get some calls, but definitely hard to see that.
I hear your assessment. I hear it loud and clear. Later today, right after this, up to the U18s, Atlanta United, Inter Milan. Knockout match time in the U18s. It's coming up at 4:30 Eastern, just a little bit following the conclusion of this game here on the MLS YouTube channel. One matchup ahead there. Inter Milan look like a dominant club in the group stage games here just outside of beautiful Sarasota. 20-minute drive north to Bradenton. It's been just picturesque all throughout the course of the week. I've not been able to ask for much more.
That first day was a little tough. Super windy. Anytime they take a set piece, it was just kind of denied by the wind. Lots of back and forth and unpredictability. But
another takeaway here. Things are on for GA Red. There's a hesitation. Open net on the right side. Good save and goal by Fitzpatrick. Didn't have to move much, but sure-handed on that second attempt.
Bristol Kirsch once again coming out with a bang. Really good carrying the ball at her feet. Maybe just had to pick her head up a bit there. Look for open sides of the goal. Showing
an admirable defensive posture in the early going. It's 2 takeaways that have led to those 2 shots for Kirsch. Representing Top Hat SC. Renowned for developing top-tier talents is Top Hat. Here's another look, partner.
Yeah, so she creates the turnover here. Again, just great defensive offense, carrying the ball here, and it's just picking your head up in those moments. Keep did a good job to get in position, do what she could when you've got a 1v1 to goal, but it's the second time here that Bristol Kirsch has set herself up for a 1v1 look. And if she keeps doing that, she's going to have a couple more.
Kirsch laying it off this time on the overlapping run, played central and just a hair out too far in front to put the laces through.
And of course you feel for Man City a little bit with all the jet lag. Sometimes turnovers happen in tough spots, but pretty much they got to pick up the pace. They got to work through it here. And sometimes that means you're outside back coming a little bit deeper versus higher up the field if you know you've got a really quick striker who can cut you off.
Back four having all sorts of issues here. Another giveaway. Now trying to shield it. I was going to ask, how can this Man City back four be a little bit more efficient here? They're going to have to deal with the front three of GA Red a little bit more effectively. This is not trending in the best direction for Man City at the moment.
Always good to get compact, but again, tough to create the counter in those situations. It's like a set play here.
Maya Berger to take the corner kick. First of the match for either side, nearly 10 minutes in. This is tailing away from goal. Man City first to it, trying to use some speed here near midfield. Quick counter was prevented, still at the foot of Man City. One of the first touches for Divine Obita today. Obita, a goal scorer in the PGA Plate semifinals, contributing to City's advancement in that recent tournament.
For the most part, doing pretty good to build out of the back. Girls Academy Red. Let's see if Man City can do the same. Again, needs a little more pace on that ball coming out of the back. 1-2 touch movement.
A lot of time in the box here. Diving save, second ball trickling away and into the netting there. And peppering the goal with high quality shots right now is GA Red.
Relentless, I think, is the word here for the entire attack. Just finding seams left and right. Capitalizing on the turnovers. Good work there from the keep, Layla Fitzpatrick. Keeping them in this game here.
Already 4 shots for GA Red in just over 10 minutes of play. Lila Megacy dispossessed. This is quite impressive from GA Red, the composure when a lot of these parts haven't played all that much time together. Really an awesome opportunity for them as well in this U16 group level, meet players from all around the country.
Right, and there's a lot of MLS clubs that have, links to NWSL clubs, Houston Dynamo and Houston Dash, just to name a few. And so lots of really good eyes. I'm sure there's a lot of college coaches. And just talk about what this means for their resume, especially this Girls Academy Red, to be handpicked out of multiple players in the nation at the U16 level to come and play in a game like this, a tournament like this. I mean, a lot of these girls you're seeing out here are more than likely going to go into some really good college programs or maybe even pro.
Shot from distance fired here, testing Fitzpatrick again, had it covered along the left post.
And it seems like as time rolls on, you see younger and younger players on the U.S. men's national team, 16, 17-year-olds, Alyssa Thompson, making her debut super early a couple years ago.
Yeah, if you've got the stuff, we've seen 15 and 16-year-olds at the NWSL level as well. They're getting opportunities. This is a prime spot right now.
Opportunities also comes with the pressure. Great through ball.
Lila Megacy chasing near the corner, has it before the in line. And it does slip over for a goal kick. Lila Megacy, Michigan, product of Michigan Jaguars FC. It's been the most impressive aspect of this first 12 plus minutes from GA Red perspective for you.
The IQ is very obvious early on. The way they're playing in and out, they're finding diagonals, and of course there's that hustle. I think that's the great American spirit, is the hustle and the physical nature, but they're being really calm, composed, and playing out of the back really intelligently.
Yeah, Man City has spent very little time on this half of the pitch. How do you break down a press like this a little more effectively from Man City as they chase this one to the corner?
You have to get really compact, even through the middle. I think they're finding a lot of splits in the middle, and that enables them to go in and out. And so, you know, especially when you're in an environment where it's hot, you're not used to it, you're jet lagged. I don't want to say park the bus, because that's not what I'm asking either. But, you know, until you're able to gain control and really string a few passes together, get some possession going, you want to have a more defensive mindset.
Let's see if this back four can grow into the match here after their first couple touches. Felt a little compromised in the early going. Fitzpatrick's had some more touches. This is better. Working it down the flank. Good stuff for Man City here.
Looking good, yeah.
Pushing a couple more numbers for it. Trying to locate a Bowie duo. She accelerates left. Looking to put another shot near the frame. Left-footed strike into the arms of Kaylin Moore. A good build-up and final product there from Man City.
Yeah, some of the better stuff we've seen from them. I think half the time it's just finding your rhythm. I think they're starting to find a little bit of that. It's a nice turn into space. Some more horizontal movement. Gives her a look at the goal. Just not able to wrap around the hips enough to get it over to that right side.
And again, growing in confidence here. Now towards the corner. Shevchevka Aboya. We'll stay with Man City.
Keep it in this half. Come on, Sienna. Keep it in this half, Sienna. Tight. Tight.
Long throw. Immediately two red jerseys surrounding. Danger not completely dealt with yet. Obita trying to turn. Back was to goal. Dispossessed quickly. Maybe a moment to run now. That's read it off.
It's a good defensive read, but Carolina Bodiziak there with the hustle. It's really this hustle from the front three from Girls Academy Red, making it so difficult to build out of the back for Man City.
Bigger, pass easy, bigger.
On the way, the defensive presence of Kirsch led to the best two opportunities for GA Red today. They got the mindset. Try to play defensive and ambitious like they have been. Now working out of the midfield. Yuna Han showing some good skill in the ball. Excellent. Well-weighted pass just outside the circle. Bodiziak couldn't keep it.
It's incredible at all for these ladies to be involved in the Manchester City system. Some absolute knockout players there. We've got Chloe Kelly, a worldwide name. Players that you can look up to, a straight sight line to the top. Something that women have not had for a long time. I had some players that played with me growing up, and they had to play on boys' teams. They didn't have girls' clubs at all whatsoever. And they became really good because of it, but it's just different when you can play with ladies and have the support that you need.
Yeah, it's an integral part of their system now. They go from U10 to U16, and this was established in 1997. Built up a formidable program. FA Girls Youth Cup champions in 2017-18, Youth Cup finalists a couple of years later.
I think it's interesting how quickly, whether it be the English women's national team, European teams, you know, Man City, Man United, all of those programs, how quickly those teams have accelerated purely because of their involvement with, looks like there's a flag up here.
Yeah, Kirsch is offside, just missed time to run.
Purely because of their involvement with men's sides. think they have the resources there to help develop and promote and build those programs, and that's why you're seeing things become much more difficult on the world stage for the U.S. women's soccer team. Not their strongest World Cup this last go.
Good deal. Contact there in the midfield by Maya Berger, committing the foul. Yeah, the Man City organization, they have several players who have become part of the England national team. Kiara Keating in goal, 20-year-old, has been included in England's squad recently for their fixtures against Belgium. Jess Park in the midfield. Laura Brown also in the midfield, made her senior debut in November 2024. Up and down the Man City roster, there is representation for England. Alex Greenwood, perhaps more of a mainstay in the back four. 96 caps for the national team.
Got Lauren Hemp, too, explosive winger.
Yeah. England
international, known for 1v1 pace. Just so much talent on that team.
Even Chloe Kelly, remember that indelible goal, winning goal in the Euro 2022 final?
How could we forget?
She did recently move on loan to Arsenal, but the Man City product at that point in time. Yeah, take your pick when you talk about alums and their contributions to country. That's what you would expect with an organization like Man City. Well, good job dispossessing there by Obeweduo. Playing it central. This shot just a little bit upstairs. And again, Man City showing some more signs of life here midway through the first half.
Doing a great job to just hustle, get that ball through to where it needs to be. She's not marked, has a good look, just nerves getting the best of her there. But one thing I'm really liking about this Man City team is they're not afraid to take the shot and go for goal. A lot of times, especially in the women's game at this young age, their first thought is go back, recycle, possess. Instead, they're going for goal. They're goal hungry, goal minded. So that's a good thing. But you just want to make sure that if you're going to do it, that you've really got that good look. You know, you're not being too preemptive.
It was Grace Foster's first attempt of the afternoon. Yeah, about of their 3 shots, 2 of them from been about 20 yards out or so. But it didn't feel like those were overly ambitious. You know, continuing to spend more time on this side of the pitch. Just out of the reach there. Obeweduo.
Yeah, we're about halfway through this first half, and kind of looks like they just needed to shake off some rust.
Looking to thread the through ball here. Things are on. Couldn't get the shot off. Well done by Moore to come off her line. Scoop that one up. Promising moments here for Man City.
Great stuff from Kayla Moore, but yes, it's that 1-2 touch into space. It's that first touch here. It's just a little bit too long. Oh, looks like maybe a jersey pull. Not able to finish that one off, but again, things looking really good on both sides now.
Legacy, hopeful cross off the netting. How has Man City grown into this match here the last 5 or 10 minutes?
I think it's the possession piece, you know, finding a little bit of their rhythm. They're just able to connect passes a little more, working over that mental barrier, I think is what it is. It's definitely not an ability situation. And also, I think just being better to defend through the middle of the field as well.
Bit of a clumsy mistake in the back there. Possession given up in a less than ideal spot. GA Red losing it on the touchline there. We mentioned how Man City just got into Florida last night. The conditions they left in Manchester was 48 degrees right now. Of course, 82 here in Sarasota at the moment. Gotta keep that in mind. How may fatigue play into things over the course of this afternoon just outside of Tampa. Clever dribbling along the end line. Placed perfectly at the feet, into the top corner of the net. Oh, how nicely was that set up? 2-0, Girls Academy Red.
Girls Academy Red on a roar here. Having a look back at it, it's just a scuffle. Man City just trying to get out of the back. Not possible there with Girls Academy Red. And this look off the first touch. Love the confidence. Love that she went with inside the laces, opened up her hips a little bit just to make sure it could get past the keep. Didn't need a ton of pace, and I think, you know, as a young player, sometimes you want to wind up, you want to hit it with laces and make it look pretty, and that still was a great goal.
Molly Maguire not trying to do too much with that. Looks like a practice rep, but taken perfectly. And Maguire, central midfielder for Michigan Jaguars FC, on the board here today. 2-0, Girls Academy Red. Kind of a knock back there from Man City, who were starting to build some confidence.
Again, defending in the midfield there. You have your defensive center mids coming back to really help out. Seeing some good stuff from Millie Bradenton.
And for the last 10 minutes, it felt like Man City had figured out how to deal with the front three there. Girls Academy Red generating some good chances. Put 3 shots up so far in this first half. And a couple of poor passes from the back line, leading to some more chances for this American side.
Sometimes, too, when the game opens up a bit, you get a little more confident, get on the front foot, you're exposed in the back. A lot to take in.
That's well off target there from about 30 yards away. Grace Foster giving it a go.
Again, still attacking minded. But, you know, when it comes down to it, sometimes it's situations like that that can make you pay in the long run. So it's about settling those nerves in those moments.
Jeff Hughes, head coach for this GA Red side, has to enjoy what he's seeing thus far. Man City putting a little bit more pressure on now. Colbert Martin is looking for the diagonal ball to Abita, who's operating on the right side now.
Part of that was a cheeky little pass here from Millie Bradenton outside the boot. Tried to put a little curve on it. I love it.
You know, for GA Red, it almost has the feel of U.S. Olympic basketball team, right? They don't get all sorts of time before they go into the international competition, but there's plenty of talent to put things together.
Or the All-Star game, or, you know, I also don't think we give the national teams enough credit, because it's kind of the same situation for them, all just coming together randomly.
You say national team, and now my mind shifts to next year. It just can't come soon enough, this World Cup in North America.
Beyond excited. I'm excited for the people here in the United States to understand really what it's all about. You know, you think your football teams are big. Try doing that multiple times a day. Millions and millions of people showing out for these teams. It's just a whole nother scale.
I need to secure my my ticket package or credential or entry somehow.
Someone needs to adopt me and take me, because those tickets are expensive. Definitely won't be paying for anything.
Someone, if anyone wants to help with our endeavors to bounce around the country for
whoever would like to donate to the Katie and AJ fund, let us know.
Trying to watch some high-level soccer.
Yeah.
A 1-2 touch dealt with there by Man City.
Getting stuck in a corner there. And at this age, you have all the energy.
Uh-oh, watch out now, looking for a second. Necessary intervention in the end. Molly Maguire was hunting a second goal.
Close but no cigar, but as I was saying, you have all the energy at this age, and so love to see them putting that to use up top, shutting things down early. Probably a moment to really prove themselves too here if you're Girls Academy Red. New players, new connections, new eyes on you. You know there's U.S. soccer scouts watching this game.
Second corner kick here for GA Red. More on your point there in a moment. Low driven ball, whiffed on initially, and then sent back towards a less dangerous area. Yeah, Katie, how often were you on teams where you really didn't know anybody on the team?
trying to think.
Yeah.
Not often.
Right.
I mean, all-star teams from high school situations, and I guess the second you step into college, right? But I mean, to have a one-off tournament, I guess I've guest played before,
Sure.
but you know, it's different when the whole team's been playing together and you haven't. It's a little bit out of the loop.
Yeah.
But this is everyone, you know, and they're moving so well together.
Yeah, it hasn't felt like a detriment.
Yeah, it
today.
doesn't look like they've not played together.
Yeah. And again, sometimes it's really simple, like we saw in the first goal from Kirsch. Take it away in a one-on-one situation. That was a really good ball from the corner. Obita trying to fight for it. Kept in there by Kirsch. Again, representing Top Hat SC. He's got a pair of defenders on her there in the corner, dispossessed. Does Man City have something on the move here? Numbers slow to move forward now. This is better. 3-on-3 for a second, looking to thread it through to the near side. Shishebakova not able to get there before it was sent back by Brindley Walsh. Center back for SC Carlsbad, California.
Good hustle and movement here from Girls Red Academy. You see that too on a lot of their corner kick opportunities. They're not flat-footed. You still see that sometimes in higher levels, and I think it makes for a more interesting game when you have ladies checking in and moving and creating problems for defense.
Off the shoulder of Bodiziak. So that one of the things you've been more impressed with in the first half from this GA Red side, their off-ball movement, their creativity and set pieces.
Yeah, and it again, it looks like they've played together. It doesn't look super discombobulated or disorganized. We, of course, have to mention the resilience of Manchester City. They're down 2, but still seeing really good things.
They have been able to create 4 shots here in this first half hour. Just 1 on goal, though. Didn't have too much behind it. Was easily handled in goal by Kaylin Moore. And these are the moments where GA Red has thrived off takeaways. Quick change opportunities to play on here outside of the box. And just cross out of play. And another corner kick here for GA Red. It'll be their 3rd of the match, although our referee will bring Obita and McGuire together. Quick chat after that latest near foul.
Going back to the play that kind of forced it. A good step there from center back Amara Chukwu-Nwankwo. Good pressure. Sometimes it's tough to come out. Center backs, it's a tough role to be in.
Yeah, excuse me, that was Nwankwo nearly with the foul. Another corner. Well delivered to the far post, just a tad high for a teammate. Still just outside the 6. Now it'll roll out of play. And looks like we'll have another corner. Maya Berger will jog over once more. Dynamic playmaker out of Florida United. Just 15 years old, has already made plenty of significant strides. He's represented El Salvador, both the U17 and U20 levels. And just 15 years old is Berger.
Wow.
4th corner of the match for GA Red. This one lower, driven, under the hands of Fitzpatrick. Set piece success. It's 3-0 for GA Red.
One of those moments you just got to track the runner. She's a hard one to track, though. Look at this play back, and sometimes it just skirts by. All you need is that one little touch, and a goal's a goal.
It's Bodiziak. Carolina Bodiziak out of New Jersey. Finding the nets here. 3-0.
And keep doing good to read it. Just can't get low enough in time. hard to turn and position yourself to block that one.
A deserved and warranted goal for GA right there away. The excellent service we saw from those corner kicks from Berger. That time finding the feet of her teammate, and now the work is really cut out for Man City here, halfway across comfortable confines of the Etihad. Foul there on Abewaduo. What kind of mentality do you have to take in this situation? Again, we've referenced, there's difficulty in the different weather. You just got into town last night. A lot to gain mentally from trying to keep your composure and offensive awareness and presence in a match like this.
Yeah, if you're Man City, you just got to think next play, next opportunity to do your part and support your teammates. It's tough. Moments like these are when everyone as a collective tends to get down. And so you have to keep in mind as a player, there's a lot of eyes. Can you be the spark? Can you be the energy that keeps things alive? Positive presence. There's still a whole nother half to go.
Yeah, there's absolutely the team angle of this. You want to put as strong a performance on as you can, particularly for the, when you have the knockout rounds as an opportunity. But yeah, that individual awareness too, that, hey, this can, good performance here, whatever the scoreline, can go a long way in my career.
100%. And it's only going to have a positive effect if you're still doing your absolute best. Just leave it all on the field no matter what.
We've seen sparks from this side from Manchester. Able to find the back of the net. Kaylin Moore up to task. Now, Megacy, one-on-one. Well done defensively to extinguish the threat.
Both teams starting to get a little tired, I think. Even the very fierce Girls Academy Red. Really hot for everyone, and we can't forget that these ladies have flown in from all parts of the country, some cool, some hot. So it's a challenge for everyone.
Yeah, you think about it, maybe a lot of these players knew as little about each other, teammates on the team, as we knew about this team heading into this situation. They're all traveling solo to Florida, wondering what's the dynamic going to be like. Oh, this is a well-weighted through ball to the box, flicked on here, and it's just wide. Oh, nearly the moment there for Man City. That was high-level distribution.
And you really wanted that for her. Just look at that ball in. Perfect spot, perfect weighted pass. The chip would have got the keeper.
A couple of shots here in the first half from Foster, and again another shot on top of the netting there. Colbert Martin, Irish midfielder, spent time with the U16 national team with Ireland.
Really not a bad idea to try to shoot from distance if you're struggling to get into the box. But if you're going to do that, you got to drive it and you got to keep your chest over it. Seeing a lot of chips into that area, almost crossing like. It's a little bit easier for the keeper to read from distance, unless she's really out of her goal, like that last almost close call for them.
It's interesting, you look at the shots taken for both sides, 8-6, just +2 in that department for GA Red. Obviously the scoreline very in favor of this American side. By the way, stay with us at the half. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we'll talk with the commissioner of the Girls Academy, Patricia Hughes, about all the momentum and initiatives going on here with the Academy, what they're doing as a part of GA Cup. There are 40-minute halves, 80-minute matches here. There's Kirsch in the 2nd minute, McGuire in the 23rd, Bodiziak in the 32nd. A clean, crisp, impressive first half for this GA Red side from everywhere in the country.
From everywhere.
Coast to coast.
How exciting as a young player, though, to get the invite and go somewhere completely different.
Be so fired up to get that invite.
Right. lot of different ways that young players can get exposure, whether it's through club tournaments, academy tournaments, or things like this, collaborations. Really excited to see how this can grow in the future. Maybe get more girls teams involved. And
speaking of, English background, the girls must have felt like Harry Potter when he got that Hogwarts letter.
Oh, loving the Harry Potter reference.
Had to incorporate it once. We had a brief discussion yesterday on that. 3-0 here, 39th minute.
Was it delivered by an owl is the question.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Anyway, nerd alert for us. Moving back to this game, near miss again.
That's the 7th shot here the first half. Just one on target, though, for Man City. Wonder how deep into the bench both sides may go immediately after the halftime break as well, or if they keep things as they started for at least a little bit longer.
Solid 0.0 rotation. Surprising, especially for Man City, considering what they're playing through right now. But coach probably knows, hey, this is your first game. We need to give these ladies a couple of minutes to work the rest off of it.
Yeah, head coach Lauren Aldred knows there are more games to come. Bayern and Girls Academy Red, of course, also in this round robin. I asked a member of their coaching staff, are they feeling jet lagged? Are you feeling jet lagged right now? And it's immediate yes.
Absolutely.
It's like, I hear you.
Not enough caffeine in the world.
Well, there is in certain energy drinks that you're partaking in, but we wouldn't recommend that.
I mean, whatever you got to do. Just kidding.
Maybe I would recommend. If I'm tired a little later, maybe I would recommend that. Just a couple seconds left, only 1 minute of stoppage time.
Good read.
Una Hahn pushing forward. Just trying to direct it to the middle.
Millie Burden, I find myself continuing to say her name. She's done a really good job. Distribution, also closing things down there to stop that play from moving forward. She's got really good turns through the middle.
Hahn was looking to find Megacy streaking down the center of the pitch in a 1v1 chance, but that defensive intervention prevents it. 8 shots for GA Red in the first 40 minutes of play. They're feeling good about themselves after the first half. 3 goals, one by Kirsch, McGuire, and Bodiziak. Girls Academy Red in the first game. Women here at the GA Cup. 3-0 lead over Manchester City. Patricia Hughes, the commissioner of the Girls Academy, joins us in just a few minutes. Go to the MLS YouTube channel. More after this.
You ready? MLS is game on. Don't you? On. Stars on.
Kevin Sullivan, the history maker.
30,000 friends on. Rivalries on.
Versus New York City.
MLS, this is our soccer. Game on.
One of the thrillers of the day in the championship bracket of the U16s. A round of 16 matchup sees KRC Genk from Belgium outlast Portland Timbers 2-1. Alongside Kaylee Carr, Watching as we go through this one. And right at the very beginning, we saw this group, Tharatzos Walker, be quite the impactful player.
Yeah, this one was a roller coaster. I thought Portland built their way into the match, and you could see Tharatzos Walker just pushing his way into it. He started to come alive. You can see him just sneaking into that near post, and it's a difficult header from a really hard angle to come to the near post, but to duck his head down like that, to be able to redirect that to the near post. Fantastic from the number 9 for Portland.
And then in the second half, 1-0 the lead for the Timbers, but this finish from Mohamed Akib Avci just rolls it past Deutsch, but it all starts in the back.
Yeah, the pass from Ilunga is to spring him in, and it's a wonderful run here. He has to take a difficult angle because he's being pressed by August Nystrom, but he just passes it so delicately to that back post. This was a big moment here. Achabar was able to go one-on-one, earn the penalty, and Ilunga steps up, but oh no, it's Deutsch again. He stopped 2 penalties in the shootout against Bayern Munich to help them get to this stage and reads this one perfectly to keep Portland in this.
And that kept it tied at 1 in the 45th minute. But no more than 2 minutes later, Saidi found Bukers on the back post for the go-ahead.
Yeah, and set piece is so important. We saw Portland take advantage of the first half and a bit of the taste of their own medicine here with Bukers heading that back to the where it came from. You could see the momentum had now swung all towards Genk, continuing to push forward. Had a breakaway here from Ilunga, but another big save from Deutsch, who just did everything you possibly could ask, and you were just hoping for one more chance from Portland. And here it came to the man you wanted to fall to. He does everything right here. Tharatzos Walker, but oh my goodness, how about that intervention from Magogo to save it off his own post, and Portland didn't give up. You have to give him credit for that. Again, a scramble in the box. They continue with it. The substitute, Sanchez, stands this up to the far post to Cias, but wasn't able to get on top of it. You can see what it means to Genk, but end-to-end stuff there. It can still barely take a breath. What a performance from Genk. Portland left everything they had out there. What a match.
Genk on to the quarterfinals against Austin.
Halftime here at the IMG Academy Generation Adidas Cup. A 3-0 lead for Girls Academy Red through 40 minutes of play. Great to have the commissioner of the Girls Academy join us in the broadcast booth. A 6-year member of the senior Irish national team, the all-time leading scorer at Coker College. I feel like I'm surrounded by greatness with the both of you here right now. Great to have Patricia Hughes join us in the booth. This is such a meaningful addition to the Generation Adidas Cup. What does this mean to have the women as a part of all the action here for the first time?
You know, it's such a prestigious event on the boys' side, and the opportunity to come in and have the girls represented on a global stage and be able to compete at the highest level is just outstanding. We're very familiar with the IMG facilities. We know the quality of the environment, and certainly to align with our partners with MLS and then be able to have the girls engaged as part of this is just an opportunity. It's kind of a dream for our young women and for the league itself.
For those who don't know a ton about the Girls Academy just yet, talk a little bit about the organization, the footprint that you guys are leaving here in U.S. Soccer.
Yeah, you know, we became a member of U.S. Soccer about 12 months ago, but the Girls Academy has been in existence by virtue of the evolution of the Development Academy with the Federation. Going into year 5 right now, we've got about 125 clubs across the country. Our footprint is growing. We're at about 16,000 players. We'll probably grow as much as 20,000 players by July 1, and just continuing to evolve the game and the level for us.
It's rare to have youth teams in the States have this opportunity, right? To play the likes of Man City, to play the likes of an FC Bayern. How important is this? How meaningful could it be for the continued growth of the game as we're seeing it exponentially right now, year after year?
Yeah, I mean, I think worldwide we're seeing the women's game rise and grow at an unbelievable level. It's such a watershed moment for women's sports in general. And for us to be able to compete against 2 of the best academies who have a culture of excellence and a history and tradition just in the sport of soccer, certainly on the men's side, and see their investment into the girls' game. And to think that we at the Girls Academy, representing the US youth soccer system for women's and girls players to be able to be here and compete against this competition is just an outstanding opportunity for us.
Absolutely.
And on that note, I mean, women's soccer as a whole, you mentioned how on the world stage, European teams are really starting to rise. For a long time, U.S. women's soccer dominated the presence at the World Cup. We're seeing European leagues rise. We're seeing women go to the Women's Super League. So with that in mind, how important is it for the academy system here to kind of keep up with the changes that we're seeing on the world stage?
Yeah, no, I think for years the collegiate landscape was the pathway for women's soccer, and I think with the investment and the resources that are being pumped into the women's game, certainly around the world, we're seeing the growth of the game at the academy level throughout Europe and South America, etc. And I think right now we've seen the emergence of the NWSL platform, USL, and all these opportunities and platforms for young women in America. But I think that the feeder system, which is the youth landscape, whether it's the Girls Academy or other leagues, we know the importance of the role that we play as part of that pathway, and we're really committed to being able to align and make sure that we continue to produce talent at the highest levels that can feed into these respective platforms, and we're just excited about the responsibility.
And what a fabulous start for the red team out there. Goal, 3-0.
Yeah, it's not a bad start. The celebration was pretty epic too. I got to give a shout out on that. You know, these girls came in, they arrived in about 36 hours ago. Obviously there's a little bit of unfamiliarity, but the themes are consistent. We play a high pace of soccer. We know we've got technical kids that can rise and play at any level of the game. I certainly think they're a little bit more adjusted to the heat, and certainly for our colleagues who've travelled in, we know jet lag and dealing with the heat is probably a challenge for them. But we're here to compete. We're very excited. We're proud of the girls.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much for having us.
Girls Academy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Here at the Generation Adidas Cup in Bradenton. Much more coming up on the other side.
I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. The jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
You ready? MLS is game on. Dolce? On. Stars on.
Kevin Sullivan, the history maker.
30,000 friends? On. Rivalries on.
New York versus New York City.
MLS, this is our soccer. Game on.
That's an introduction to the GA Cup for Girls Academy Red. AJ Ricketts, Katie Goodman got started less than 3 minutes into the match. Defense leading to the first goal here.
Right, it's closing down the gap there. Kirsch, and then taking it 1v1. Commits the defender and then just hits the hands of the keeper, but able to put it away. She's just been a knockdown, drag-out fight there for her. Relentless, non-stop player.
This was the seed for much of the first half. That front line for Girls Academy Red causing all sorts of issues. Give a lot of credit to the composure on the ball with that finishing move as well. Second goal came 23rd minute, courtesy of Molly McGuire. Set up perfectly at her feet. She went top shelf.
Love that she had the awareness there to open up the hips, go with the inside laces, and good job getting to the end line. Very Sophia Smith there, and then just puts it away.
I like that reference. That's a nice comparison. I'm sure she appreciates it too. Third goal coming off the corner kick. Right place, right time for Bediziak.
Right, a lot of scuffle going on, but she's able to get on the end of it and put it away just under the keep, and goal's a goal there.
And so 3-0 our score after 40 minutes of play. Glad to have you with us on the MLS YouTube channel. Alongside my partner Katie Goodman, AJ Ricketts with you here in beautiful Bradenton, Florida. The third of our 4 broadcasts over the course of this Wednesday. Atlanta United, Inter Milan to follow us at 4:30 Eastern. Can Man City put together any sort of comeback here in the final 4 minutes?
Absolutely. Plenty of time to make things happen, and even if it's 1 or 2 goals and it's not the result you want, it's make this next 40 minutes as good as you possibly can, because that's going to carry over into the next game.
You saw the substitutes there listed at the top left corner. 4 of them for Girls Academy Red. Sophia Torres is coming net, the new goalkeeper. Coming in for Kaylin Moore. Number of substitutes for Manchester City as well. 7 total between the two sides. Callie Haydock also in for Girls Academy Red, Brooklyn St. James, and Claire Badger. Pushing forward in the early moments here, the second half. This is a nice layoff. Cross foiled in the end there.
Always interesting to see how subs change games.
Got Haydock along that left flank there for Girls Academy.
We've also got a nice switch. Wanting a handball, but they're not going to get it.
Rachel Adedini working up front now for Man City. 6 matches, 2 goals with the French U17s prior to this. She joins Amelia Cocarulo. She's been with the Man City system since a young age herself. Hannah Stinger, the 3rd substitute for Man City. Foul here just outside the circle. Will be a free kick for GA Red.
First time we're seeing a set piece from this distance for them. Interested to see their off-ball movement here. Not a bad idea to put it on the ground and try to build up. Just a little congested.
Manchester City have had their moments offensively. Been in spurts. One of the 3 goals, meanwhile, for Girls Academy Red coming off a corner kick. It's now their 5th of the match. Good service here. Just gets by. Brinley Walsh was in the area. Good little combination play on the near side. Collinson skips it ahead. A little bit too heavy off the foot, easily handled. Sofia Torres, again the new keeper, Girls Academy Red.
The idea was there to go 1v1. Just a little bit too much pace on it. They seem to be doing well through the middle, just finding some challenges, getting on the same page, I think, in the attack, some missed hits. It's that last pass that needs to be better.
There's Collinson with the threat. She's represented England's U14s previously. It was great to sit down with Trisha Hughes there for a couple minutes and hear her perspective on what the Academy is building, how they are continuing. Watch out though here into the box and then scooped up at the end by Fitzpatrick. How they're utilizing the momentum right now across the game to continue to build this and have built future pathways, whether collegiately or through the Academy, for girls all around the country.
Really interesting, the process of hand selecting these ladies.
Yeah.
Lots of meetings and minds coming together, cross-referencing lists with the youth national team. In fact, she had mentioned off camera, lost 8 players to the youth national team with their call-ups, and it allowed for more doors to open for a couple of these ladies. But a lot of these players, again, you're going to more likely than not see at some point in that system.
And those spots that are open because of the youth national team structure give some opportunities for other athletes to start showing what they can do against higher competition. Maybe the pipeline deepened a little bit.
Absolutely. Kind of like when there's injuries and the sub has to step in as the starter and they get their moment to shine. Wise to have organizations like this that allow you to look at a whole nother 22 players playing in under similar circumstances as the youth national team. Flying away from home, playing with players they don't know.
Yeah.
Playing under a coach they've never played for. It's a great training ground for that.
Falone laying it off. Castellanos now along the edge, sending it towards goal. No problem there for Fitzpatrick. And previously some time with Leeds United for Fitzpatrick. Also serves as an ambassador for Miss Kick. This promotes female participation in the sport. There's a goal kick there. "47 minutes in here at IMG Academy. Goals in the second, 23rd, and 33rd minute. Girls Academy Red. And the other side of the round robin, Girls Academy Blue and FC Bayern. All those squads will face off against each other over the course of the week. We played to 80 minutes here this afternoon. Here's Castellanos again. He's been active in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Cuts inside, poked away. We'll stay with GA Red. Brooklyn St. James from California around the ball there. Given away. Clever move. Dispatched the defender. Not initially able to advance, but they flipped the field. Now Grace Foster, who had a couple chances in the first half from distance, lays it off nicely. Shevchenko along the wing, crosses it in, and a diving stop by Torres. Nixes that. That's the best sequence in the second half for Man City.
Yep, finally getting a good look at the goal, testing the keep. So far, it's just been some attempts from distance, and here's a breakaway.
Looking for a second goal here, puts one on. That's initially saved and then extinguished in the end. Torres does well. Bristol Kirsch put one on frame. Here's another look at Man City's chance.
It's a good development into the corner. I like that she's going towards goal, puts it in a dangerous spot. Maybe just a couple steps behind is her striker. But again, it's getting better and better every play.
Right outside the 6. Foot blocks it from getting through to the middle.
And a lovely diagonal, as mentioned, better and better each play.
Do we need to tuck in, or can you hit Rachel? Yeah?
Summer Horner out to enter for Man City. Shebekova also will enter. Foster heads out. Summer Horner and Lucy Willis, the two new players on here for Man City. And again, Samira Shebekova and Grace Foster, the one substituted for. Man City has now utilized 6 players off their bench.
As they should, all things considered.
Yeah.
I think it's changing the game too there. It's opening up a bit. You can see they want to possess and get some 1-2 passes in behind.
Adok holds up her run, going the other way. Navigates to the middle of the pitch, laying it off to Brooklyn St. James. Evades the pressure from behind. Good diagonal pass towards the corner now. A whistle ending that sequence though early. Good interplay though with Haydock. St. James. Man City have been unable to quite unlock this back four of Girls Academy.
Yeah, I think part of that is just the pressure. Great win there. The Girls Academy Red, Brooklyn St. James. She's already really making a presence.
Oh, that little spin. Flair here from Girls Academy, although it does lead to an empty finish. Constant defensive pressure in the midfield here once again, though. Was their profile in the first 10 minutes in particular. Felt like it may be a very long afternoon for Man City. They have looked much better since that first 10-minute stretch, but it did cost them a goal, followed by a second one 23 minutes in. You never know, though, if they could manage one. Now that may change the complexion of this.
Very true. Sometimes
see the skill on the ball here. Now the physicality nearly got by her defender there.
Rachel Edidini with the moves. And yeah, that physical stature could probably win her a goal, especially off a corner kick. Nice and tall.
It's a good ball to the middle. Willis just entered the match. Back line there to help resets. Willis. Horner. Flag was up. Adedini in an offside position.
But they're at least connecting a lot more passes here in this half.
Shevakova, excuse me. Dinara. Still in the match, the right back spot.
Dinara, sister of Samira, both playing on the right side. It's gotta be nice playing with your sister.
Up the field, Kirsch battling for it once more. Trickled instead to Fitzpatrick. Yeah, not a bad setup right now for the Shebekakovas, rising through the academy together. Both starters here today.
Got a built-in soccer buddy from day one. That's pretty cool.
'55th minutes. Girls Academy red, Manchester City. First ever female division here at the Generation Adidas Cup. Good challenge from the back line there. Nice stinger.
Rachel Azzadini, I think, has a target on her back. I think Girls Academy red very aware that she can't have much space on the ball. Doing a good job to close it down.
A trio of substitutions set to take place here. Oliveira, Kaminsky, and Craig are going to enter for Girls Academy red. Catherine Oliveira, Julia Kaminsky, Lauren Craig. Oliveira plays for Soccer Technical Academy, New Jersey-based club. Julia Kaminsky, center back for New England FC. And Lauren Craig, product of Tonka Fusion. That's in Minnesota. Again, this GA Red roster all over the States. So now a new 7 on the pitch from what began this match here for GA Red. Brantley Walsh comes off, as well as Bristol Kirsch, the goal scorer, and Sienna Falone. This is well done here. Oliveira on the ball, just entered the match, has some space, flicks it central. Can they get a shot off here? Searching for a fourth, momentarily mishandled. Rolling towards the touchline. Ready for a throw. It'll stay with GA Red. Wasting no time putting it back in. Oliveira. And a touch to it. There's rights to Falone.
And again, Girls Academy Red just doing a really good job to move as a unit, especially on the defensive. Quick to close down, quick to stay connected. I think the first thing you see with a bunch of players who are playing together who haven't played together in a while, it's the disconnect. There's gaps that get exploited, but just not seeing any of that.
You've seen much of a shift in tactics or approach from either side since the halftime conversations here. More the same personality from the first half in your mind.
Well, for Man City, less shots from distance, which is understandable. I think when you're working through the heat.
They put another shot from 20 yards out here that's well wide.
When you're working through the heat, that can be difficult, and a lot of times that's a last resort because you just can't get in behind. But when you've got that energy and stamina, you know, the quick 1-2 touch passes, that's why we've seen them in the box a little bit more, some better looks. I think when they start to get their legs underneath them a little bit, maybe in the coming games, more rotation off the ball, it's going to help them a lot. I got to talk to their coaching staff, and they said this would be a very different game if it was on their home turf,
sure,
in their environment. And I can see that, even with this struggle.
When you talk about Manchester City from the first team perspective, whether it's from the Etihad to the academy system, the women's side has become one of the standard bearers in English soccer. Founded in 1988, relaunched with serious investment back in 2014. They lifted their first major silverware that very year in the FA WSL Cup. 2 years later, had a domestic double with a league title and another cup win. Since then, steady stream of success for Man City. Multiple FA Cup triumphs, and a Champions League quarterfinal run. And of course, as we talked about a little bit earlier, they've got a squad that's just stacked with international players representing the country year in and year out. But for the club perspective, players like Steph Hoden leading the way in years past, and now Khadija Shaw lighting things up. It's a club that has plenty of pedigree each and every year. GA red. It was nearly a handball. That will be whistled.
Call there from the ref.
We build.
Yeah, really an incredible program that has made a very clear name for itself on the women's side. Just to be a part of that system is something else. And then to get more exposure by coming to events like this.
And in a similar way from a GA red perspective, and GA blue as well, of course, is part of this from the domestic side. This is taken away by Adedeni, shifting to her left, and then lost it. We've talked a lot about how MLS Next Pro has led to over 100 first-team contracts, homegrowns, opportunities. It's another shot from 30 yards away. It's the 10th shot for Man City today. Only put one on goal, unfortunately. I'd be interested to see in a couple of years, once there's a little more data, like how many players from this GA Red squad, GA Blue squad, went on to collegiate scholarships, went on to an opportunity in the Super League, went on to the NWSL, got a chance to play with the international team. I venture to guess it's going to be a significantly high percentage of the representation here, what they're able to do. But Next Pro, they're able to point to this already after a couple of years. It's going to be fun to see what GA Red and Blue are able to vouch for in a couple of years.
Well, you bring up a good point about second-tier professional soccer in the women's world. USLW is now trying to make that a thing. Hold that thought. Like there might have been a breakaway, but yeah. So you look at what Major League Soccer has done for their academy players. They know they have a clear sight to the top.
Yeah.
Very, hard to stray off that path unless there's a trade or a loan or something else comes up, right? Or they elect to go to college instead and play there. But for women right now, the first thought is college always. And so I think when you add in second-tier professional programs into the mix, that makes the pathway to pro a little bit stronger. And I think, you also have a ton of semi-pro leagues that have popped up recently that help. United Women's Soccer being one of them. Actually, that's the league I played against Alyssa Thompson at one point, and it's just easy to see her quality. And because she was able to spend a season there with them, she was able to be scouted by U.S. Soccer and move on to the big leagues.
More on that in a moment as Manchester City takes a look at a player down. Tomorrow's U16 matches as we continue to make our way through the knockout stages of the bracket. We get started early, 10 a.m. Eastern, between the side from the Netherlands, PSV Eindhoven, and Columbus Crew. We saw Eindhoven early in the 10 a.m. game on day one. They looked impressive. Following that at noon, Charlotte FC and Real Salt Lake square off all games once more on our MLS YouTube channel. This will be the quarterfinal round of the U16 bracket. And you reflect more on just where the state of the women's game is and with what precedent has been, right? With so many of its stars coming from the collegiate ranks before getting to the national team. And you see the World Cup titles, you see the international success, but the women's game isn't just resting on that success. There's a real movement now to make this a part of communities, to make the domestic leagues more and more entrenched in the soccer scene all around the country. And what a better way to do that than form academies, form these opportunities for these players all around to be immersed in it and this kind of setting well before the collegiate stage.
Yeah, it's a much better depth chart for that succession plan going into, top teams for U.S. soccer or, collegiate programs. But, it's a game that's ever evolving and changing is what we've learned from this last World Cup and how the world is catching up with us. Yeah. And a lot of it is because of the academy systems and when you look at women's soccer in general across the board, whether it's here and in England, it's the fastest growing sport out there. We're seeing an all-time high in investment into the women's game, so just opportunity on opportunity here. And you throw NIL in the mix, and there's a lot of money to be had.
Yeah, that's become a storyline, hasn't it?
Yeah, that it has.
2 more subs here for GA Red. Jansen Okren enters. Kate Fulton as well here for this GA Red side. Fulton also a Top Hat SC member like Bristol Kirsch. Okren, a central midfielder for SC Del Sol. That's in Arizona. Unihan and Sienna Falone, excellent performances today. We'll get a break just over an hour in. About 15 minutes or so left. 80-minute matches here in the Girls Academy division with a number of games that they'll play. Most of the U16, U18 matches 30 minutes until the championships. Jay Ricketts, Katie Goodman. Here's another shot from distance here for Man City. 11 shots today. Torres hasn't been concerned about too many since entering the second half in goal for GA Red. Goals in the second, 23rd, and 33rd minute. The Girls Academy side, Kirsch, McGuire, and Bodiziak.
Absolute powerhouse of a trio up top.
Yeah. And you feel that this American side only gets stronger over the course of this competition.
Yeah, if they're starting out with a bang like this.
No. 2 minutes. Took less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That'll build chemistry very quickly. Good little combo play across the mouth of goal, and Manchester City have found the net for the first time today. 67 minutes in, Man City on the board. It's 3-1.
Incredible hustle, loving the resilience. Let's look at this build-up. She finds a seam there. It's that touch that gets her in and behind, and it's the one-touch pass. They're moving with pace, and it sets her up for success, allows her to put it away just past the keep.
Ella Collinson makes it 3-1 here, with still some time to work with for the side from Manchester.
Ella Collinson, super sub, coming in and making an immediate impact. Again, we only go to the 80-minute mark, 40-minute halves for this game. Still some time to get things done, maybe close that gap, and just try to make the remaining minutes the highest quality that you can for that next game.
Good job cutting inside there, finding a sliver of space by dispatching a pair of defenders by Haydock. It's part of the U.S. Youth National Team pool. Haydock, the daughter of former U.S. Men's National Team player Frankie Haydock.
Keep it moving!
Does Man City have the recipe for a second? Trying to apply some real game pressure on Girls Academy, which they really haven't felt today.
Two touch, Kate, great shot. You've got to let the ball do the work. You've got Jane in the pocket on the other side. Jane, louder, demand it.
Loving these coaching points. You know, the beauty of being on the field is you hear a lot, and coach makes a good point. You got to demand it, you got to call for it, let the ball do the work.
It's a well-weighted pass, diagonal, great first touch. Handled along the back. Kaminsky able to get there. And now Man City bringing numbers 4, going to try to force a miscue here. It's Girls Academy red that's trying to prove they can work out of the back here.
Brooklyn St. James, absolute baller under pressure. Just the way that she carries that ball, she might get pushed off, but ball doesn't leave her feet.
This is a really good technical build-up. Able to at least get it down. The attacking third, Craig, had it stolen. Throw in here, Man City. Just a little over 10 minutes to work with. Shebekova. Play back. It's Patrick. Torres, excuse me.
Some high pressure coming from Manchester City. Trying to keep that ball on this side of the field.
Adedini, quick one-touch pass. Boyaduo goes diagonal, settled. Man City searching for a second, looping over the bar and out of play. And there were corridors to work with there for this Manchester side.
Of course, taking a look back, I love that chip in behind. Fortunately, just grazes that top post. But you can feel it for Manchester City.
They're getting warmer here. It was a first half demonstration of strength. This Girls Academy side. It's felt a bit more even here the last 20 minutes.
And I don't want to call Manchester City the underdog because of the circumstances they're under, but it feels like that because of those circumstances really struggled in the first half, but looking pretty good here.
Completely understandable. The squad gets in just hours before that first match. Hard to ask every player to bring the sharpest level of mental clarity and execution to the pitch. And they just got off that flight. They settled in. Example of the mental fortitude this side brings in. Be quite interesting if they net a second. Time is starting to become precious.
It's 8:27 p.m. in London at the moment. So just to put in perspective the time difference, 3:27 ET here.
And have you be our timekeeper for all the international games now.
I prefer not. That's all you're going to get out of me, okay? I'm going to stick to analysis. Just a bit of a miscommunication. Girls Academy just makes you pay for it.
Hidak. Keep her balance.
It's a good body check. Really hasn't been physical or chippy or...
Not at all, to be quite honest. Here's Brooklyn St. James. Wasn't able to send it exactly where she wanted, but does earn a corner kick here for GA Red. Admirable second half for this Manchester side, but is there enough gas left in the tank to continue this comeback attempt? Rose Academy would love to really put this one away right now. Sixth corner of the match. Lofted high. They were the first to head it. Couldn't redirect it towards frame.
It's a great ball in. Just a little behind.
They really put Manchester under pressure in those moments.
Yeah, they do. Got a lot of taller players through center of the field and up top right now.
Headlined by Craig, who entered a few minutes ago. Lauren Craig from Tonka Fusion, Minnesota.
Jansen Ogren, too.
Macy May Halsell will sub in momentarily for Man City. Be the 8th substitute. What have you admired most today from the visitors from England and their performance? Now they're down 2 goals, but you can take your pick and what has stood out.
Well, they're just still giving their all,
Yeah.
right? They're pushing through everything, and you have to admire that, especially knowing that you're in a position that not exactly set up for success, but there's a lot of important eyes watching. It's really important to keep your head in the game, and it looks like they have. Nobody's throwing their arms up or getting frustrated. They're still very much in it.
Did you ever have a game in your career where you knew as you walked onto the pitch you were already exhausted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty. Especially in a tournament sense, that's tough. Or if you have a road game and you come back and you've got another game pretty shortly after, or you've had a game that's gone into extra time and the whole shebang, and then you have to play another game very shortly after that. It's just tough. Your legs are dead. It's really hard to work through those tough passes. Good tip.
Now Oliveira's nearly off to the races.
Can we build? Can we
Close.
build? Can you have it, Hunter?
But I imagine those are moments, though, where you grind your way through it. You find a way to play effectively. And that just makes the games that you do have that rest and recovery for. You're all the sharper and ready to go.
It breeds a certain mental toughness that I think a lot of people, unless they're an athlete, or struggle to relate to, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's just the beauty of sports in general, getting your kid involved, so many life lessons.
Yeah, whether it's from a perspective of grinding through fatigue like that, or like we heard from Manchester coach on the sideline, Lauren Aldridge, shouting out to the other side of the pitch, hey, demand it.
Yeah.
Demand the ball. It's, play a certain way, carry yourself a certain way on the pitch. Show that confidence you have demanding the ball.
I love that she's coaching that right now. I'm going to hold the rest of my thought until this plays out.
Outswinger.
A little off the mark, but another chance.
Manchester City find a second here. Wasn't that far away. Almost pounced on it.
That was a nice hit. And talk about all of the shots they've taken from distance. This is one of the better looks. Getting out in front, doesn't waste time, first touch. Still keeps it low enough. Still lots of pace and power behind it.
Boe with duo. That was as confident a strike as she's had today.
Yeah, great.
That's almost the same exact sequence. Kirsch had a little bit more dribbling after she took it away. But Boe with duo playing a little defense into offense herself. That would have been one for the highlight reel. I'd still put it on there. Here's a turn. Okra in the right spots. Haydock has some space on the near side. She was calling for it, making a run now. On the left side of your screen. Went north with it. And now, with less than 2 minutes before stoppage time, can the substitute make an impact? Inside the box, rips a shot. Torres is there and handled.
You can tell they want it. Just.
Did you get a second chance? Torres takes some contact, able to slide and retrieve it first. Well, this would have made it interesting in the final minute or so.
Yeah, that would have, nice little cheeky pass with the heel. Doing a good job to carry towards the back line and pull the defenders in, holding that ball a little bit longer. Finally putting some pressure on the keep. Sofia Torres really making her work. Come off her line.
Macy-May Halsell, former Billingham Juniors athlete, nearly made it 3-2. It's the second shot on goal for Man City today. Nice moment for Torres in net. Her first save.
Yeah, she had some really good positioning there.
I think Man City can hold their heads high walking away from this match. Go down 3-0 within 35 minutes. Really let things get away from you. And they did not back down. Made some adjustments. Some nice combination plays. Very easily could have 2 or 3 goals right now. I think they'd agree that next time out we'll have to come out a little stronger and with more focus. But again, hard to really put too much on that. There's not going to be too many times they take to the pitch about 12 to 15 hours after landing across the ocean. Just to be quite honest about it.
All part of the process of growing up as an athlete who has high hopes and visions for their future career. So even through the challenges, major learning lessons here. And these last few minutes, they can absolutely carry into the next game because looking like almost a different team.
3 points in the opener goes a long way here for determining who will play the championship. Certainly not out of the cards for Man City, but they'll have a bit less margin for error in their final 2 games after this. It's Bayern and Girls Academy Blue. Just 2 minutes of stoppage time, so we're nearing the conclusion of this one. Fulton, good distribution. Oliveira will let one go.
I'm liking the energy that Hannah Sengert has brought into that back line. Major physicality and presence. Not hesitant to put a body on people, and I think it's really carrying over.
And some blood coming from a player, so they make an injury substitution. Ruby Mickelveen enters for the final few seconds here. The GA Cup, our Adidas player of the match. It's Bristol Kirsch who got all of this going in the second minute. Individual brilliance setting the tone for GA Red here this afternoon.
Fully deserving. I mean, sometimes you just need that spark player who's going to lead the way. She absolutely did that, pushed through, and set the tone, really and truly. Allowed for McGuire and Bodiziak to follow suit.
Girls Academy Red takes the first ever game here in this girls division at the Generation Adidas Cup. They jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Manchester City gets one back in the second half. Nearly made this a nervy game down the stretch for GA Red. But too much class in that first 40 minutes. A nice start to the Generation Adidas Cup for Girls Academy Red. Our partner Katie Goodman and our entire production team here in Bradenton. I'm AJ Ricketts. Your final at IMG Academy. Girls Academy Red 3. Manchester City 1. This copyrighted broadcast of the 2025 Generation Adidas Cup may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer and Player Development, LLC.